Hello and welcome to a weekly roundup, finally. I know, it's been a good 2 weeks since I've got one of these up, but had Beyonce, then we had recovering from Beyonce, in the words of Ellen Pompeo, and now I'm back. Maybe, if this isn't the only place you watch me, then you have heard my thoughts on some of these other topics that I'm going to talk about, whether it be my podcast or my TikToks. If not, I'm sorry I've left you waiting. Let's just get straight into it. Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner. Listen, at the beginning of the week, we had a headline that read, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner, why can I not get her name right? Anyways, Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner headed for divorce. I do personally feel like we could have kept that one, right? They didn't need to publish that because 2 days later, we got Joe Jonas and Sophie Turner getting divorced. Joe filed for divorce because if you're on your way to a divorce, you're eventually going to get there. And what followed were a couple of headlines that seemed like we were veering this in the direction of a smear campaign towards Sophie. And I'm going to tell you that I didn't like that. I did not like that because Joe has had the girls while Sophie has been away. What they omit is that Sophie was working in London, in the UK, on a show. And also, Joe is their dad. Kids can stay with their dads, right? I can almost promise you that if Sophie would have taken the girls to the UK with her, it would not have been Joe is not with the girls. We wouldn't have heard that, right? Then we saw some pictures of Joe out to lunch with the girls, who I'm going to assume is the nanny, but with some help, right? And again, it seemed to be pushing a narrative that Sophie's not around, like Sophie might be absent. However, I am proud of the internet as a collective because we were dragging them. We were dragging them, rightfully so, for trying to push that narrative. Now, again, whom was pushing the narrative? I don't know for a fact. I don't know, but I have my ideas. It was looking a certain way. However, it feels like the other PR team may have shut that shit down. Shut it down, in the words of Ella from UK. So, I'm glad that things have simmered down on that front. Hopefully, they can go ahead and split amicably and just live their lives. I am here for anything Sophie Turner does. I really am. I love my Queen of the North. I actually did not love the Queen of the North in Game of Thrones, but I love Sophie Turner. Okay, so I'm here for her. Moving on. Do we even want to talk about Mila Kunis and Ashley? Because I don't want to. I was going to touch on it, but I don't want to. I don't want to talk about their raggedy asses. Because they know they're raggedy. Y'all know they're raggedy. I know they're raggedy. Moving on, let's get into the shows. First things first. Real Housewives of Atlanta had the first part of the reunion. I have an issue because it's feeling like we might have a 3-part reunion. And how we would have a 3-part reunion when we didn't have 3 parts of material from the season, I don't know. I really don't know. That's going to irk my soul because not every franchise, not every show needs a 3-part reunion. I feel like we could really wrap it up. By the 3rd part, most of us are like, okay, we can go ahead and end this now. It was a mess. I'm not going to lie. It was a hot mess. The girlies were acting as if it was their first reunion. Sheree and Candy, quite frankly, were acting as if this was the first reunion they had ever been on. Like, they didn't know the assignment that they signed up for. And it was disappointing. Sheree brought so many props. And if you've followed me for a while, if you've listened to my podcast for a while, you know how I feel about printed papers at a reunion. It is a housewife trope that I personally feel like we need to hang up. We need to dead it. Another thing we need to hang up is Sheree. Hang it up, flat screen. It needs to be the final act because this was ridiculous. On top of the props, I'm tired of the things that Sheree says. Yeah, the things that Sheree says. Of course, when I start talking about the things somebody says, I start not being able to speak. I'm tired of the things that Sheree says never making any sense. Like, honestly, truly. Somebody cut out a clip of Sheree, because she got up multiple times to like show off her body and things like that while her and Candy were arguing. Somebody cut out a clip, and she looked deranged. I was going to imitate it, but I don't even want to because I had secondhand embarrassment watching the clip, and I will definitely have firsthand embarrassment if I reenact it for you now. However, Marlo tried to, emphasis on tried to, but it just fell flat. It really fell flat. I don't even know if a full recast is what we need to do, but I know that Candy needs to be friend of, and I'm not going to lie, I'm pretty disappointed in Candy for how she's, well, disappointed but not surprised, let me say that, for how she's acting towards Drew when it comes to the whole Ralph situation. Listen, these women don't have to like Drew. I'm not even Drew Sidora's biggest fan. But it feels like while they're trying to argue with Drew, they just keep bringing up Ralph and insinuating that she was not a good partner to Ralph when we have seen Ralph be an ass of a husband. And I don't even mean just like an asshole, like the pit. We have seen him disrespect this woman how many fucking times, and y'all can't argue with this woman and think of like any good comebacks except for to try and insinuate that she was gaslighting Ralph, except for to insinuate that she was the one that put Ralph through hell. Are you kidding me? Really? Please. And then they brought Courtney out, and when I say I don't want to see this woman anymore, I really, really don't, because she is disgusting. She is honestly, truly disgusting. For her to say half of the shit that she said to Drew, and then try to insinuate that, let me just say this, why she is inserting herself in Drew and Ralph's marriage in the first place is beyond me, if they want to keep up the ploy that they are still cousins. But let's go down that road, okay? Walk with me really quick. Let's pretend that they really are cousins like that. Y'all have only known each other for a year. That's been your cousin for a year. You don't have history with this person. Y'all wasn't at grandmama's house baking cookies on Sundays. Y'all don't have all of this history. Courtney is acting as if Ralph has been her cousin that she's known about forever. And we already know what the streets are saying, that they're not really cousins. Y'all know I call her Play Cousin Courtney. And I'm going to continue to call her Play Cousin Courtney because it's giving scam. It's giving scheme that Todd set up to come to us with the bullshit. It really is. Okay? I do feel bad for Drew for everything that is about to ensue, because in all of the previews, it looks like she can, like, barely keep it together. And I hate that for her. She can have disagreements with the ladies, but they don't need to be bringing up, I don't think they need to bring up Ty. I really don't. Ty is not on the show. She was not on the show. And I don't think they need to bring up Ralph, if I'm being so very honest with you. Staying in Atlanta really quickly, Kim and Croy said they're giving their marriage another go. And I think just last week he had filed for divorce again. Please just leave us out of it. Leave us out of it. Honestly, truly, it's a mess. It's giving mess that I don't want to be a part of. Okay. Let's get on a plane and head up to New York because I have a lot to say about this. The women are going on their first cast trip, like full cast trip, not just to Aaron's house in the Hamptons. And they're going to Anguilla. It's Anguilla that they're in, I'm pretty sure. Jenna Lyons opens up to us more, and she has to have teeth surgery, right? I know how I felt when I simply got my wisdom teeth removed. I think she said this is her sixth surgery she's had on her mouth. I think it was 6. It might be more, to be honest with you. Any more than 1 is a lot. Because there's not feeling well, right? There's surgery, but then mouth surgery is just a whole different ballpark. Erin brings her soup, sits in bed with her, and cuddles with her, all to just turn around and line Jenna up for the firing squad, i.e. the other ladies, and throw her under the bus. Jenna reveals, she has an autoimmune. Is it autoimmune? I don't want to misspeak. She has a disease that she has no eyelashes, her teeth are affected, and her skin. She opens up, she says that, she, in the summertime, when she was a kid, she always felt othered and, left out and made fun of because she has blotchy skin. She wanted to go early and get a tan, right? She also says that she wants to fly first class. Erin also says, I want to fly first class. But that's not what she said to the ladies. That's not what she said to the ladies. When she told the other women, she just told them, Jenna didn't want to fly first class. First off, if Jenna effing Lyons wants to fly first class, just fly first class, she should. I want y'all to know, I've said this before, I'm going to keep saying it. As soon as I can get into business class, as soon as I can afford business class on every single flight that I fly, I'm going. I am going to business class. I don't care who is back there in economy. I don't care. My husband, my mom, and y'all know I love my mama. Okay? I don't care who's back there in business class. I would leave my child back there if I could. Just so we're clear, I don't have any kids before anybody's like, bad parent! Can't be a bad parent if you're not a parent. I'm just saying, I would leave anybody in business class, okay? Or leave anybody for business class, rather. I'm sorry. Of course, all of the women have a reaction to that. Sai and Bryn being the biggest reactions of all. And it was, the editors really did not do those ladies any favors. Because if they edited it down to what we saw, it probably was even worse in person. Because when I tell you, it felt like they just dragged Jenna for a good 10 to 15 minutes. And then, of course, you had the few people that were like, well, it's a girls' trip. They all should be flying a nerd. Let me tell you something. The older I get, one thing that I need to be when I travel is comfortable. Like, people who fly in jeans, are you okay? No. I don't need any buttons anywhere on me when I am flying, just so we're clear. Everybody needs to do what's comfortable for them. I'm so tired of these women on Bravo, like, oh, to be a good girlfriend, you need to do this, and this. You need to fly with me. You need to, no. Let the woman fly how she wants. Then they insinuate that they gave her the worst room in the house, which this house does not have any bad rooms. It is a gorgeous house. They insinuate that they gave her the worst room in the house because she wanted to fly business class. It was just real mean girl behavior, if I'm being so very honest. Bryn went on and on and on and on. And it really gives that Bryn has some type of issue with Jenna. Because she is constantly comparing herself, what she does, to what Jenna Lyons does. If I did that, I would be ridiculed. If I did that, like, girl, I'm sorry. You need to work through some of that shit. You need to work through some of that shit because, need I remind you, you have done similar things. You actually do the very thing that you accused Jenna Lyons of doing, which was not join the group because you didn't want to be seen at Catch. Well, Catch, I don't know for a fact if it was Catch that they were talking about, but you didn't want to be seen at a certain restaurant because it's not 2012 earlier in the season. That's how we started off the season, with that argument, because you didn't want to be seen there. I'm sorry. Do you think that's any different? Do you think that's any different than Jenna not wanting to fly economy? It's not, okay? Jenna Lyons would have taken her ass to Catch. And again, that's not the only reason she didn't fly with y'all, okay? For them to start questioning, oh, does she even really want to tan? No, you're not. Like, they started questioning, like, her insecurities about her skin. One of them said, I thought it was Bryn at first, but then somebody was like, no, that was Aaron. One of them said, for somebody who is insecure about their skin, you sure do show a lot of it. I said, is this 7th grade? Is this a cafeteria? Me excuse me? Like, you gotta be so for fucking real. And then after that, after Jenna walks into them talking about her, and then again, they just lay into her for Lord knows how long, they get up to get ready for dinner, and Aaron's ass is the first one over there talking about, are you okay? To Jenna's face, all to be in the confessional saying, you just can't say whatever you want, Jenna. I mean, my God. It's uncomfortable to watch a 30-something-year-old be that damn Regina George coded. Okay? Of course, all the trolls online, when I, said my thoughts about this episode, were like, oh, either it was the old Roni that would have never done this. First of all, them women on the old Roni were the meanest. Dorinda literally didn't have a job anymore because she was so damn mean. Okay, let's not do that. And secondly, the other half of people were like, well, if you don't like it, then don't watch. I didn't say that I didn't like it. I'm commenting on the fucking show. If you ain't got any comments, get your ass on somewhere. One thing we did forget to touch on. Apparently, Carl not apparently Carl broke up with Lindsay. We know Carl broke up with Lindsay. We know that the wedding, he allegedly called the wedding off, right? That news hit last week sometime. Apparently, he's been cheating. I don't know. We have heard not a peep from either one of them. We have seen pictures of Lindsay at her friend's wedding. She's better than me. Because if my fiance just called off our wedding, I would rather do anything else. Anything else than to go up to another wedding. Like, honestly, truly. I can think of a million other things I would rather do than go to another person's wedding, even if it was one of my best friends. I just got dumped. My wedding that was supposed to be in a couple months is not happening. I can't be here. I can be here, but I'm going to stay by the bar. Okay? And one thing that I just find interesting about all of this is even if, Carl was planning on doing this, is the behavior that we have seen alone online, which was, her birthday was a month ago now, maybe, a little less than a couple weeks ago, and I remember seeing a story where he had gotten her some shoes, some white shoes, and he was like, oh yeah, you can wear these for all of the bridal events you have coming up. If you were having doubts, if you were behaving in a way that you shouldn't be as a fiance, if you simply were thinking you didn't want to do this anymore, why would you be doing all that online? Why would you buy me some white shoes and say you can use these for all the bridal events you have coming up? That would send me, hopefully we get a statement soon. Let's head on over to the OC. The girlies are acting up in the OC. They are continuously trying to make Heather the bad guy, and it keeps firing back in their face. And at this point, it's the most entertaining, okay? Heather has a party for the launch of her, I don't know if it's an app or a channel or whatever, with Mark Cuban, but there's HDs everywhere, and I love it because it's Heather Dubrow, and that's what she does. She's fancy pants. I feel like these women are continuously trying to make like Heather the bad guy for being unrelatable, but that's why people love Heather. She is fancy pants. People don't call her fancy pants because they relate to her. They call her that because they do not relate to her. Okay? And earlier in the season, Emily tried to call her out for her comment on, oh, this is really how like this happens with when they were shoveling shit on the farm. And saying, oh, that just sounds so out of touch. Emily, you shovel shit every day, and I don't mean them damn dogs that you got running around everywhere. Do you go shovel manure every day? No, you don't. Stop it. Okay? Now, it's that apparently Heather was talking shit in the room at BravoCon. The problem with this is they keep trying to get Heather on things that she did not say on camera. So it's a big question mark. It's up to the audience to decide. And right now, the audience is not deciding with Emily. They're just not. Okay? Hell, Gina's not even deciding with Emily because she says that she was in the room while this was said at BravoCon, but she thought that somebody else said it, not Heather. And then she goes, I don't know because I was getting my hair blown out. Gina jumped ship on Emily. Jumped ship on her. Okay? And again, do not stand 10 toes down on something on Housewives and start an argument about it if we have no video footage of it whatsoever. Because us, the audience, they're going to make up their own minds. And you're taking a big 50-50 gamble on whether or not that's going to be in your favor or not. Okay? She then accuses Heather of, because they go to Mexico, she accuses Heather of body shaming her. When Heather picked up the cookies and said, oh, these cookies look like your boobies because you have big, nice boobies. That's not body shaming, Emily. Let's not do that. Let's not do that. I feel like if Heather would have said something else and they would have showed us, okay? They did just film their reunion, I saw. And, I mean, by the end of it, it seemed like everybody was okay except for Shannon. It was not because I saw Taylor, Tamara, and Heather all went to drinks afterwards. Shannon was out with her crew, with her like hair and makeup people. I'm going to tell you what, Shannon's not going to have a good reunion. Shannon's not going to have a good reunion. I hate that for her. I hate that for her, but it's what she had coming. Okay? She's been doing a lot. We got the premiere of Salt Lake City this week. I am personally excited, and I know, considering how we ended last season with me cursing the day Salt Lake City became a franchise, for me to now be excited about it, it's crazy. It's wild. But it was a good premiere. We got a newbie, Monica, who used to be friends with Jen Shaw, and claims to have made a little phone call and turned her in. Wild. Do I think that I'll continue to like Monica throughout the entire season? I don't know. I could see it going either way, but I'm happy she's here. She already got her first shady Instagram post out of the way. She put up the oldest picture of Angie Casanevas with this bright red hair. I would not be happy if that picture was on the internet of me. Let me just say that. Let me just say that. And I do feel like, I'm going to be honest, I do feel like she knows some secrets of the ladies, and I feel like the ladies, Lisa Barlow, might be shaking in their boots a little bit. If I'm just being honest. Meredith Marks is giving unserious already, getting mad at Whitney Rose about a bathtub. Whitney is always unserious. Because she said, and I quote, "I prefer to take my bathtubs alone." Let the record show, Whitney Rose prefers to take her bathtubs alone. Okay. Alrighty. And Heather is trying to gaslight us into thinking that we put her and Jen being best friends onto her. That they weren't really best friends. People put that onto her. No ma'am. Don't gaslight us, audience. I'm going to speak for the entirety of us. You were her ride or die. Per you. So now that she's in the pokey, don't try and sit here and say, well, people projected that title onto me. No, nobody projected that title onto you. Actually, we were trying to help you come out of it, Heather. But face looking good, mama. Speaking of Jen being in the pokey, whoever's running her Instagram account, very unserious. They tweeted that Jen, they tweeted, I think they tweeted and they posted on Instagram and added Andy that every time Jen's name is mentioned, she should get money from that. Are you well? Are you well? Okay, I know you have restitution to pay, but you are not getting a penny every single fucking time your name is mentioned on this damn show. You did enough damn yelling and screaming. You got arrested on the show. You think they're never going to talk about you again? If they never spoke about her again, she would be cussing up a storm from the prison cell that, how dare they not bring me up? I made this show, da-da-da. So, it's a lose-lose. Just continue to work out that sentence with the Theraflu lady. Not Theraflu. What is that? Elizabeth Smart. Not Elizabeth Smart. Y'all know who I'm talking about. The lady with the thing that Karen from Mean Girls played. What is her name? Amanda Seyfried. Oh, we're going to go ahead and end this weekly roundup here. I will talk to y'all in the comments. I will talk to y'all over on Instagram, over on TikTok, all the places.